So if you're anything like me, you may not have picked up a journal since you're about 10 years old. When I was a child, I used to journal all the time, and I used my journal as sort of like a document for my life. Anything that was major happening in my life, anything that sort of added to the narrative of my life and my identity, I would record in my journal almost as a memory account. It was almost like a photo album, but in words for my life. I felt like if I missed an event or an occasion, or I didn't keep my journal updated, then we would lose touch with one another, or some part of myself would feel like it was forgotten. So I really felt like my journal was to keep me accountable for my life, and I felt like one day maybe I would go back and read them, and I didn't want to forget big things that were happening to me. But here we are, several years later, decades if you will, and I don't go back and read my journals. I still have the ones I have from when I was a child. I even found them the other day, and I just flicked through a few pages, and I was like, you know what, I don't need to read this because it's absolute babble and it just doesn't even really make that much sense. And it's only now in my life, in the past like year and a half, that 2 years, probably 2 years, I've been journaling again, but the purpose and the motive behind it is completely different, and the style in which I journal is different. So I wanted to talk a bit about that today. So here is my lovely journal. First thing first, I always try and buy a journal that I feel connected to and that I feel like I can pour my heart out into. I have to have a connection with this thing. This is like, it's like an extension of your mind. It's like if someone reads this, they're gaining a key to my mind. So I found my journal, not this one, but I've just finished one. I found my journal in a small bookshop in Sydney, and I knew it was the one. I had to go back and get it. And this one here, I have not been writing in it as much, and that is because we don't have a strong bond or connection. Because I just got this from Kmart because I've been desperate. I'm like, I need somewhere to write my thoughts right now, so I just got this little thing. But it serves its purpose, and you know, I'm grateful for it. So let's get into it. Why do we journal? Why do I journal? What style do I journal in? And I'm no expert on anything, but I wanted to share what I do and how it helps me. So the way in which I journal now is very different to how when I was younger. Maybe there are times that you want to write down and record big events in your life, like I'm going on a trip soon, I'm going on a holiday, and maybe you want to track that and explain how it's going. But mostly this is a journal for my thoughts, my feelings, and my spiritual journey. It helps me uncover trauma. It helps me unpack situations. It helps me empty my mind and clear my mind. It is almost like a form of meditation, because when you are writing, you have to be present. If you stop being present, you'll start making mistakes. Your writing will start going nowhere. You cannot be thinking about other things and at the same time be writing a page of words. It's just, it can't happen. It just doesn't make sense. You have to be there in the moment, slowly transcripting what is going on in your head. And that is like a form of meditation, because you are being present with it. At first, you might find that when you start journaling, you might only feel like you can write a page, and then you might get bored and want to put it down. But the more you do it, the more you become used to doing it. Like with anything, the more you do it, the better at it you become, and the more time that you will find yourself dedicating to it, because you'll start to see the benefits that it's giving you. I find that journaling for me is like having a conversation with myself. If I'm in a situation and maybe a challenging thing is going on in my life and I don't really know what to do about it, I can write about that, how I'm feeling. I can reflect on me. I can reflect on the other person. And it's almost like through that conversation with myself, I come to some conclusion about what I need to do to move forward, or I come to a conclusion that is different from the one that I had before. It lets me gain a new insight into the topic. So it really lets me step outside of it and see it almost from a different perception and a different point of view, which is incredibly powerful because it's not every day that you get to have that kind of insight if you're just sitting there by yourself or talking to other people. When you're talking to other people, it can be challenging and you have to be careful who you listen to because other people come with their own insecurities and their own traumas and their own ideologies about things. And you have to be careful about who you listen to sometimes. Having mentors and having people give you advice is an awesome thing. But when you have a conversation with yourself in your journal, there is no outside influences. I almost feel like it allows me sometimes to tap into a conversation with my soul and really gain some intuition and guidance on where I need to go and what I need to do. It also can really help if you are going through some strong emotions. It can help you really process them and just get them out and really be in the moment and feel them and truly acknowledge what you are feeling as well. I know there's been times for me when I felt maybe quite anxious or I can feel insecurities bubbling up and I will just journal. And it's almost like I've just done a meditation session, and when I come out of it I feel lighter and I feel more understanding of what's going on in my mind. I also make a big effort to not just journal the bad, not just journal times when I'm feeling sad. Journal all the emotions. Write about how grateful you are, how blessed you are, how loved you are, how amazing it is to be in this life. Sometimes I'll pick up my journal and I'll purely just have a session of scripting and writing about what I essentially want my life to be and trying to come up with things that I'm grateful for, even if in that moment I'm not. I use the law of attraction to essentially write out what I want to attract, and I'll just do a little journal entry that is me manifesting my future life, basically. So there's many ways in which you can use it, but this is also really important for me because I like to include all of my moon rituals in my journal as well. Every time there is a full moon and a new moon, it is imperative to me that I have my journal because this bad boy is gonna get a hell of an entry. In the new moon, I will be manifesting everything that I want for the next cycle to begin. In the full moon, I will be telling it everything that I need to let go. And in my previous journal, I used to rip out pages and burn them as well at the full moon. I really think I'm going to film a new moon and full moon ritual on the next ones that come around, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, that's kind of like the key points that I just really wanted to share. It's not so much about documenting your life, and when I first started journaling again, I was kind of like, what's the point in this? Like, why is journaling good for me? I don't get it. But it really helps you to just process your inner world. It helps you materialize the things that are going on inside, and it helps you make sense of them, because you can like seriously have so much going on in your mind, and putting that down on paper can very much help you understand what those things are and where they're coming from. So buy yourself a journal if you haven't already. Let me know how you go with your journaling. There are so many different styles in which you can journal too, so I recommend just getting a journal, beginning by writing down your thoughts and your feelings each day. Write down the things that you're grateful for and the things you want to intend for the rest of the day or the rest of the week, whatever it is. And then you can start to discover different styles of journaling, different methods, ways that which work for you, and they're going to support you on your journey. So let me know if you have any questions. I'm happy to share as much information as I can, and I'll see you in my next video.